Welcome back to another episode. Ryan here with Chaos MMA, and today we have on Collin Lubberts, who fights out of MMA Masters. Colin, first off, how you doing, man?
I'm amazing. It's actually Lubberts, by the way, brother.
Lubberts, my bad. Yeah, my bad. I
I
mess
know.
up the names sometimes. My bad. My bad.
No, it's okay, man. No, I'm
Yeah,
amazing, brother. I'm doing great.
yeah, that's great to hear. And I've seen you've been training a lot in the gym now. What's training been like for the past 2 years? We know you got an injury, so you haven't been in the octagon, but how's it all been? Like, how's the whole process been lately?
Yeah, no, so I had two injuries kind of back to back.
Okay.
So I started off, I had a neck injury. It was a herniated disc. So that kind of kept me out for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And then I jumped right back in. When I jumped back in, I had another injury, which is my groin. And that's still recovering. So that's been about like 4 months also. But I've been doing stuff in between. So actually these injuries, it's crazy. It's like sounds crazy to say, but these injuries have actually benefited me in a lot of ways because my body really needed a break. I really needed to kind of slow down because the way I was training, I was guns blazing every single day, like 4 or 5 hour sessions, not really recovering. And I was doing this stuff without a fight coming up. So it was basically like I was living my whole life in a camp. I was actually living in the gym at the time. So it's like you can't say no to training. So I was kind of just like really, really overworking myself, and I paid the price for it. My body eventually got hurt, but I've been very consistent outside of these injuries. I've just been training a little bit smarter.
Yeah, like you answered like my next question. I was gonna say, like, do you think with these 2 years off and everything else, like it made you better than ever? Like next time we see you in that octagon, we're gonna see even a better, like a newer version of you that we haven't seen before in your like, previous fights. Like you think this
Oh,
made you better?
yeah, I believe it's gonna be night and day. I feel like I looked amazing before, but I feel like I'm
Yeah.
gonna be phenomenal now. Like I'm gonna give people goosebumps.
Oh, I can't wait for that, man. And speaking of the injuries and everything else, how was the recovery and everything else? Like dealing with like a herniated disc and everything else. Like what was that recovery like?
It was rough. Bed rest, man. That was really the only thing I could do. It was like bed rest and anti-inflammatories, and that was an injury that like I wouldn't wish on anybody. So it was like 24 hours a day of pain. Like I couldn't move. I was damn near paralyzed. But
Sheesh.
coming back, I just had to kind of come back really slow, start warming my body up. There's a lot of movements I couldn't do in the beginning, but my neck is fully recovered now. Now my only thing now is just my groin, and now I'm doing physical therapy. It's like I want to say about 2 3 weeks before like I should be 100%, and then I'm gonna be scheduling something.
Oh, great. Well, that's great to hear. You're almost healed up at 100%. I'm sure you're happy too. And speaking of fights and everything else, are you in talks with like any promotions right now about like a fight, or are you wait until you get 100% and then you're gonna start getting talks in with promotions and everything else to get your next fight?
Yes and no. So like I do have some friends who actually run shows. So like Mitchell Shamali with Combat Night,
Okay.
he's been a good friend of mine for a while, and he really wants to see me on he really wants to see me take another fight with his show like before I do get a call from a major promotion. And I'm down to do that, man. It all really depends what I get. If I do get an opportunity to fight on a good promotion and make some good money, I'm not gonna say no to that. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, like I said, I've been out for so long now, bro. I'll fight for free at this point.
Yeah.
I just need to get in there.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure you're so ecstatic to get in there and everything else. You're walking to the octagon for your next fight. What do you think's going to be like going through your mind, man? 2 years off. I'm sure you just want to get in there, get a fight off, get off, and show the world how good you are and how you're ready for that next big step and everything else. So, like, what's going to be going through your mind? Like, what's the emotion going to be like when you're walking to that octagon?
I'm gonna be cool, man. I don't think ring rust is gonna be a factor at all because I know, and now I'm gonna be more confident than ever because like it shows in my training. The guys who I'm working with every day, you see, I'm training with Colby Covington every day. I'm training with guys like Miguel Baeza, and we got like it's a factory of welterweights in my gym right now. So I'm gonna go in with pure confidence because I know I'm training with these guys every day, and I'm not far off. I'm right there at the same level.
Yeah, and you're saying you're training with these welterweight guys. Like, how much does that help in the gym training with guys who are in the UFC and are at that high level fighting some of the best guys in the world? I'm sure you're learning new things every day.
Oh man, my fight IQ is growing through the roof. Like these last 2 years, I can't even tell you how much of like a sponge I've been and how much knowledge I've gained. And it's gonna show whenever I fight. Like I'm a completely different animal now.
Yeah, no doubt. I can't wait for your upcoming fight. And speaking of training, and you mentioned it before, I think it was almost about 2 years ago. Colby Covington actually came to MMA Masters, part of your gym now. Now, when you hear that news, what was your initial reaction? Because he is one of the best fighters in the world. So, like, when you're seeing this, what was you going through your mind and everything else?
Oh, I was stoked, man. I was stoked that we're gonna have like a guy at that level who brings out the attention that he brings into the gym. Like our gym needed it at the time. You know what I'm saying? We've had a lot of amazing guys, but now like the whole world knows who MMA Masters is. So
Yeah,
it's cool, man. And Kobe's a great guy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times the media paints a certain picture. But Kobe's a cool dude. But you got like a lot of these journalists out there who like they're trying him. So you try somebody like that. No, he's a fighter. He's gonna retaliate. So that's what you see. He's not some piece of shit guy. He's a great guy, but he's not gonna take your shit.
oh yeah, no, me and my buddy who does this with me know firsthand experience because when we first started this 2 years ago, he took the time. Like our first interview was Colby Covington. You wouldn't think that your
No way,
first
man.
interview to be him.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
That's
he
awesome.
he answered us back and followed us on Twitter and everything. Like, and he was a nice guy and everything else. I think it's just the media tries to give him a bad picture and everything else. Just
Exactly.
yeah, just how he would all that. But speaking of that, you're training with him all the time. How much have you learned from him? Because we saw he's the only one who gave Usman a fight lately. He beat Masvidal dominantly. How much have you learned from him in these last 2 years?
Like crazy amount, brother.
Yeah.
Crazy amount. Not just between wrestling, but just between like mixing the games up between striking, wrestling, and just that nonstop cardio. Now it's like going with other guys. It feels it's almost, I don't want to say easier, but it's I'm my rounds with him. I'm used to going 100% the whole entire round. There's no breathing breaks. There's no going in between like shaking hands in between. No, it's none of that. It's balls to the wall every round, and every single round was like that. So I got used to being like that. So now if a round isn't like that, it feels easy to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's gotten much better for you considering like they say he's best cardio in the world and everything else. And we
Yeah.
saw like on your Instagram and everything else how close you two gotten. Did you ever expect it to get that close when he first joined the gym? Like you two are very close as we see.
Yeah, no, Kobe's my boy for sure. I wasn't sure, man. He came in, he was doing his thing, I was doing my thing, and we ended up just being good training partners. He's got amazing wrestling, I got good striking, so we kind of blended it together, and then we just ended up kind of like it was best that we were training for each other. I could match a lot of the people that he was getting ready for, and yeah, no, man. When then we just ended up getting cool, bro. So it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing having somebody like that on my side.
Yeah, and I saw on your Instagram that for his last two fights, you were in MSG in New York. You were
Yeah,
in
man.
Las Vegas. Like, how cool is that experience for you, man? Just to see the whole fight week process, just to be at some of the biggest places in the world, to fight national Las Vegas. Like, how cool is that for you?
It's incredible, man. It's still surreal. Like it's still sinking in. I still wake up every morning and I see like I look at my wall and I got this vision board on my wall with all like the UFC stuff. Like, I got a belt on the wall, but I'm like, damn, like I was in this building, like I saw these people. I know I'm not far off. These people know my face now. So it makes it that much more real. And it also shows me that it's like I'm not far off from these guys. Like a lot of these guys who I looked at, these guys were celebrities to me coming up. But now it's like I'm hitting a stage where my idols are becoming my rivals.
Yeah.
And I guess when they say you're doing that, you're doing the right thing. So I'm excited to get my name out there and be one of the next greats.
No, I mean, I'm sure it's going to come soon and everything else. And when you were at these UFC events, did you meet any of the, I guess, higher up guys in the UFC, the guys that make the call and everything else? Did you like kind of get your name out there and tell them that you're going to be here someday? Because you hear stories like fighters go up to Dana White and say, I'm going to be in the UFC one day, be champ and everything else. Did you get to meet any of these higher up guys?
Not this specific time. I've actually met Dana. I actually fought. I fought on Dana's looking for a fight
Okay.
on one point. So I saw Dana then, and I actually spoke to him after the fight, and like I told him like he'd see me again and stuff. So maybe he knows my face is familiar, and now he sees me like on cameras with Kobe. And also, it was not one of Kobe's camps, but when I went to Vegas with Danny Chavez, the Colombian Warrior, and I saw Sean Shelby out there, and at this like he doesn't know who I am. He's got a lot going on, but I right when I saw him, I capitalized my opportunity. I ran up to him. I'm like, "Yo, Sean," I was like, I just told my manager to send you all my highlights and stuff. I was like, check your email, send them to me. And he was really busy. He had some stuff going on. He was like, yeah, I'll look at him in a little while. And that was for the Contender. And I did hear back from him for certain things that like nothing got 100% confirmed. Who knows if it was like a last minute thing or another opportunity for Dana White's looking for a fight. So the guy knows my name, and then he's seen me at these shows with Kobe, but I actually haven't personally went up and talked to them since then. But the time's coming soon. When I do, like you said, like I capitalize on those moments. So anytime I get a chance to talk, like I'm gonna talk.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying you're going to be back soon. You're going to fight in that one of the promotions, wherever is next for you. Dana White's Contender Series comes back in July.
Yeah.
That could be a possibility. You being on the July Contender Series.
Oh, for sure. Huge possibility. Huge possibility. I mean, like I've been a little bit inactive, so if I stack 2 wins, like I wouldn't be surprised if I get a call from the UFC. But Contender Series is definitely an option. Like they can't deny me.
Yeah, I hope you get that phone call and everything else. And last few things here. Thanks again. When you were in training camp, I'm sure you saw it all with Colby and everything else. You with his Masvidal training camp. Did you, after the training camp's over, did you expect him to go out there and just beat Masvidal the way he did, straight domination? Did you get that feeling throughout the camp?
That was the game plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I felt Colby, like like everybody who else has trained with both of them, they kind of knew what time it was. I've never trained with Masvidal personally, so I didn't really know what he brought to the table. If anybody knew, Colby knew more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing anybody could have said, whether it's coaches or anything, that Colby doesn't already know himself. So I had the confidence, and Colby was super confident the way he talked to me about it. He's like, "Yeah, man, this guy's never beat. He's never beat me 1 minute of training with him." So that gives me confidence alone, him saying that. And when somebody's bullshit, you can see it in his eye that he really means these things. So just him knowing that he could go out there and he could smash this guy, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, no doubt. It was a great performance by him and everything else. And I got to ask you about something. So I saw you went to go box Jake Paul. You helped him out, I guess, for one of his fights and everything else. I got to ask, how was that? Like, is Jake Paul, how'd it go when you guys were in the ring together? Who won
No,
those?
it's a funny story. So I used to work at a title boxing gym, and
Yeah.
it was one of the boxing coaches from there. I hadn't talked to him in a couple of years, and he reached out to me and he said, "Hey, this kid Jake Paul needs like training partners or sparring partners or whatever." And originally I wasn't really gonna do it, but I know my nieces and nephews, they're like little YouTubers, so they're huge fans. So I told them about it, and they were like, "Yeah, fucking go do that shit." And so I was, and honestly, this kid's been talking a lot of shit about MMA fighters. So I was like, let me go see what he's about. Let me see. Let me go test his chin. And so yeah, so like we negotiated. I originally thought it was gonna be me and a couple other people. So I show up and I'm at this gym by myself. And yeah, I showed up by myself. I didn't bring anybody.
Yeah.
And he shows up like 30 deep, like 30 people, like Rolls Royces, big cameras and shit. And nobody is very friendly. Like I'm sitting there shadow box trying to introduce myself and nobody's very friendly. So then it kind of occurred to me, I was like, oh, this guy, they brought me in to like hurt me on camera to make me go viral. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not gonna fly. Not with me, hell no. And so I started like warming up and stuff, and I could see the intensity in the room. It almost feels like a fight. It's not really sparring. There's like where there's corners and shit. It's him, his coach is giving him game plans. Yeah. So at this point, I'm taking it serious. Like this is like a real fight for me. There's nothing friendly about it. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm minding my own business. And then, like I said, I went into it intense. So I didn't go into it like biting down, blacking out, like I was gonna try to hurt this kid. I wanted to see what he had first. I was gonna hit him as hard as he hit me. And yeah, we did 5 rounds, and I pretty much beat him up every round. He understands boxing. He understands. He's got a jab. He knows how to sit down on his punches. But I'm great at countering the jab. So every other jab he threw, I would hurt him. So you could see like he started getting really hesitant. He stopped listening to his corner. But it was no bad blood. I kind of just wanted to go in there and just test him out. And he's not bad, man. He's a lot of MMA fighters don't have very good hands. So I would say he has better hands than some MMA fighters. But I hope he makes that transition to MMA, because then I could really start talking some shit.
That would be crazy if he made the transition to MMA and everything else. And I saw in the picture he had like, I don't know if it was just a picture, a little black under his eye. Did that come from you?
Yeah, that was one of the jabs I was telling you about. At one point he threw a jab, and I'd already seen it coming a couple of times. So I slipped through my right uppercut and it landed flush. He stopped for a second. I had to be like, "Yo, you good?" But credit to him, he's tough. You saw it swell up right away. He's like, "Nah, keep going." So I was like, all right, this kid's a fighter. He's willing to take one and give it back.
Yeah. No doubt. It seems like the training sessions went in your favor and everything else. And speaking of that, do you think if he gets into the ring with like someone with hands, like how do you think that would go? Like, say, I'm trying to think of someone who could take a fight against him, but like, what would you think happen if he gets in there with someone with hands?
I would need an example. Like I know him and Diaz were talking, so let's use Diaz as an example. I think Diaz will slap him up.
Yeah.
I think Diaz will slap him up really nice. But you take a guy like Tyrone Woodley, who's never really been known for his boxing. You're gonna have a stale fight.
Yeah, that was a weird.
But he's getting better. I believe Jake is getting better. He has the money he has world-class coaches. He seems like a dedicated guy. He's training every day, so he has nothing but room for improvement. And No, man. Hopefully, I like once I start making some headlines, and I'll start talking some shit. Hopefully, I get that fight. Hopefully, I could be the one with hands that gets in there.
Hey, you keep winning and going out there and making a name for yourself. You call him out.
Hmm.
One of the biggest fights in the world, maybe someday. That would be such a
Yeah,
cool.
that's a paycheck.
Yeah, that is a paycheck too, no doubt. I'm sure.
I don't have nothing to prove against him. I already beat him up, so let me just get some
Yeah,
money for it next time.
yeah, and I don't know if there's any sparring footage you released before the fight, hype it up even.
So they have all the footage. Let's see if they release it. I doubt they will.
Yeah,
I should have brought a camera. It's not that I wasn't allowed to. Like I said, I just went in there alone.
yeah, if you were dominating for 5 rounds, I doubt they're gonna release anything if a fight ever comes
I'm
with
not
you.
releasing anything, man.
Yeah, but thanks again for coming on, man. It was really
In
great.
10 seconds of each round. Like,
I mean, I hope one day we get to see it. I really do. It would really,
yeah, me too.
yeah. But thanks again for coming on. It was really great speaking with you. I hope we get a fight news with you soon. I'm looking forward to your next fight and everything else.
Yeah,
And
definitely, yeah. Keep up with my social media. Eventually, I'm gonna have something soon. I'm almost 100% fully recovered, and I'll be ready to go, man. Make some headlines.
yeah, and if you want to thank any sponsors, shout out any social media, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah. Let me first of all thank my coaches, Daniel Valverde and Cesar Carnero. These guys, they've been together for a long time. They're a very strong team, and we're getting better and better. Shout out to Colby. You know, he's helped me out with a lot of stuff now. He's made me like a much better fighter. Fucking shout out to MMA Masters, of course. Health Source Doral, my chiropractor Bruno. He's been helping me. He's the one that helped me with a lot of my injuries. He's currently helping me now with my current injury. And that's about it, my brother.
Yeah, well,
That's it
thanks
for now.
again.
Hopefully, I'll have some more people to shout out soon.
No, I mean, I'm sure you will. When we have a different convo someday else, when you're getting to the big level, I'm sure you're gonna have more people and everything else. But yeah, thanks again for coming on. It was really great speaking with you.
Thanks for having me, my brother.
Yeah.
Keep me posted.
Have a good one, man.
You too, man. Peace.
Thanks.